said, we do have a special guest here. Those of you who don't know, this is the men's head football coach at Ball State, Coach Mike. All right, Coach. I don't want to mess up his name. But again, like Coach said, we want to put you in positions where people who are in those levels and can tell you about what it looks like, what the landscape of being recruited looks like, what the changing landscape of it is with the NILs and what they have to offer and what you need to do as far as preparing yourself to be a recruitable athlete. There's so many things that you need to do to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to be recruited. All right, you're obviously competing with not only people in your high school, but around the world if you're trying to be in that position. So again, he's going to kind of talk about some of those things that you can do, what it looks like moving forward. Just a little bit about him. December 4th, 2024 is the 19th head coach in Ball State's program history. He's been a coordinator or head coach during 20 or 25 seasons, 20 of his 25 seasons as a college coach. And his recruiting connections are deep in the Midwest, East Coast, and Southeast regions. He was named the head coach at Butler exactly 3 years earlier. We got the Butler Bulldogs for 3 straight winning seasons and a 23-11 record. A 9-3 mark in 2024 that led to the first national ranking in Butler's football history, debuting in the FCS Coaches Poll at number 25 and rising as high as number 23. 3 winning seasons at Butler were the program's first string of 3 consecutive winning seasons since 1987 to 1989. So before Coach Bird was born. 2000 graduate of Purdue, and he received his master's from degree from Northern Illinois in 2002 from Florida State Leadership Academy. Give us a round of applause.
It's just to educate you on recruiting, and this is nothing with where I coach at. I can't answer any questions about where I coach at. I can answer any question you have about recruiting, regardless of sport. Okay? So, can you guys hear me all right with it without the mic? Yeah. I'll speak up. Okay? You guys good? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So, I'm pointing this out because I've known Coach for a long time, and he's been at every level. So obviously right now I'm head coach in the FBS level, I coach in the FCS. I was a high school coach for 4 years. I coached Division III, I coached NAIA, I coached every level of football. So not everybody here is going to play Division I. That doesn't mean you're not a good player. And not everybody who goes Division III is not a good player. There's great players at every level, every college of athletics. All right. I'm going to explain to you guys some of the recruiting practices to understand. I recruited at all those levels, but then I've also been a high school coach where the coaches were coming in trying to recruit the student athletes that I was coaching. So I've seen it on both ends, okay? A couple things today, all right? Here's 2 issues that parents and prospects have. Is they don't know what's going on, or worst case in that, they think they know everything that's going on with recruiting and the rules and NIL and everything else. I can tell you, I don't know everything that's going on, because they change the rules every 6 months. All right? Second thing, all right, is I'm here to help you. Please don't leave here with a question. I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. I'm going to answer all your questions, and I don't sugarcoat everything. The same way I talk to my players, the same way I talk to my 3 children. I think that you guys can handle honesty, and when you have honest answers to things, you can go do something with it. All right? Just one thing, you guys are always being evaluated. All right? So any of you, whether you want to play college football, basketball, women's soccer, women's basketball, whatever it is, that evaluation starts the minute you walk in the door. Okay? So just right now, I'm not recruiting anybody here, but the guys who got here first that sat in the front, as opposed to the guys that sat in the back, at an official visit, when we have our players for an official visit, they stay on Friday and Saturday night. Okay? Well, when they get done Friday night, we take them to the hotel. Well, they got to be down in the lobby at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. I have a GA down there at 7:30, and he writes down on a list what time every one of them showed up. And the guy that shows up at 8:01, I don't know that I want to coach that guy and offer that guy a scholarship, because he has an opportunity to make an impression on us, and he's late the first meeting to the first thing we have the next day. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. So this is one for me. We had 2 quarterbacks when I got to Ball State, we got hired on December 5th. We need to get a high school quarterback. We had 2 guys we couldn't decide something between. So we had them set up for one to visit on Monday to Tuesday, the other one visit Tuesday to Wednesday, and we were going to offer one. And Monday night at dinner with the first one, I said, so tell me, what do you like doing outside of football? What are some of your hobbies, how are you doing at school? And his mom said, well, he was good at school, it's just a pain when I got to wake him up every morning. The mom doesn't know that, but we offered the other kid. Because if this dude's mom has to wake him up for school every day, there's no way in hell he's going to be on court. Okay? So if you think that you're going to go and do all these things that you talk about that you want to do, and you still have people waking you up for school, or you still got counselors that's trying to get you to do something right, if it's more important to him or coach than it is to you, you ain't never going to make it. Because at some point, people are going to stop doing this for you. How many of you guys want to play in college, in some sport? Okay? I'm not going to embarrass you. Put your hands down. I do this with every group I talk to. When we leave this meeting, I want you to get your phone out.
Tony, I don't have a check.
How many, and I know it ain't minutes, how many hours have you spent on your phone in the last week? I guarantee you'd be embarrassed as hell to tell somebody in here what's on there. Right, you're making a face over there. How many hours have you been on your phone?
No, yeah.
In the last week? You said 12? Okay, what sport do you play? Yeah. So you can say you want to play in college, but what could you have done with those 12 hours if you were looking at Instagram and looking at somebody else's life? You could have been shooting baskets. You could have been studying. And you're really brave to say that. Now you can fix it because I'm talking to you about it. But don't tell all of us you want to play in college and you're on your phone all day. Because you have a limited amount of time during the course of the day to do what you want to do. And once you take care of your school and your family and your faith and you believe, what do you do with the rest of the time? Okay? And if it's on your phone for 12 hours a week, you're not maximizing your ability. Because somewhere else is using that 12 hours to get done. Okay? So, first thing here to talk about, all right? How many of you guys play multiple sports? Okay? Good. I do not believe in playing one sport. I'm going to specialize in this sport. Okay? This year's just happened last week. That's why I put it up there for you guys. I update it every year. 88% of the guys that got drafted in the NFL draft played multiple sports in high school. 88%. Okay? It's the same in the Major League Baseball draft. The best thing you can do is play as many sports for as long as you can. Because when you get to college, they're not going to let you. They're going to have you play one. And I know we're recruiting a guy, and I say, is he playing the sports? And they say, yeah, he wrestles. Or, yeah, he's the point guard. Or, yeah, he runs for 400. I get fired up because I know that guy wants to compete and not only do the sport that he might be the best at, he wants to do other things. All right? So do not specialize in one sport. Play as many as you possibly can. It gives you more opportunities for college, but it'll make you better. If you play basketball and soccer, I know which one you like better, but you're getting better at the other one by playing the other sport. Okay? Next thing on here, all right? Recruiting in 2027, all right? Football, they've cut the roster down to 105 players. When I was a walk-on coordinator at NC State, we had 120. All right? So that means there's 15 less opportunities on the roster. All right? Who knows what the transfer portal is? What is it? Yeah, something, if you don't like the school, you can go to a different school, right? So my first year in Division I football, we took 25 players, 23 were high school guys, and you know Coach Novak, 22 were transfers, and he was, for 3 weeks, said, man, I don't know, man, we got 2 transfers. I don't like these 2 transfers. I don't like these taking 2 transfers. Our last class, 25 players, 13 transfers, 12 high school players. It'll be that way every year. So now there's half the number of spots in Division I. Our basketball team, where I'm coaching at right now, they're bringing in 10 transfers, 2 high school players. So there's less opportunities in FBS because the FBS rosters are getting filled with guys from other schools, all right, that are already in the portal. All all right? So there's less opportunity, all right? What you guys need to understand, regardless of your sport, all right? Regardless of your sport, the number one way, the best possible way to get recruited is to be a great player in your high school. It's not going to some 7-on-7 team. It's not going to some rivals camp or something somewhere else, some personal trainer, all right? Because they're going to look at your film first. And second of all, coaches, any camp you go to, if it's not on a college campus, this is regardless of sport. If you're a women's basketball player, you go to a camp, you're trying to get better, and it costs you money, and you think it's going to help you with recruiting, it's not on a college campus, it's not run by a college coaches can't go to. There are certain AAU events that they can go to in basketball. But outside of that, the best thing you can do is be the best player. You can be here and have great film, which will give you an opportunity to go play in college. I've never one time in 25 years watched a single clip of a guy's 7-on-7 club team film. But that's not real football. Our basketball coach, we're on that right now, he's new, we spent some time. He's like, dude, I hear they tell me about AAU. I go watch him play in high school. I go watch him play a game in high school. I watch him. Is there any questions on how the scholarships go and the portal and any of that? Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that in 1 second. That's a great question. All right. So this is what FBS Power 4 offensive lineman looks like. So you guys all know that's me. I ain't real tall, but look at those dudes. How tall are you? How tall am I? I'm 5'10". I said 5'10" and a half, but I'm 5'10". 6'7", 6'5", 6'5", 6'4" and a half. Okay, so these are my offensive line when I was going to coach at NC State. Okay, so and I'm just being real with you guys, all right? Because I talk to guys that recruit all the time, and they're sophomore, junior in high school, and they're 6'2", and they say, I think I'm play basketball in college. I'm like, are you the point guard? No, they're the second on their high school team. They're the power forward at 6'2", all right? You're going to be a big guy in college basketball, you're going to be 6'10", 6'11". And I'm not telling you can't be an offensive lineman, but this is what they look like, all right? So Division I, you asked it, how do you get a scholarship in Division I? All of these are based on ability first, but Division I, you have to meet the core requirements with your GPA, you have to meet the requirement with your ACT or SAT score, you obviously have to be good enough, okay, to go to Division I. If you go to Division I, it's a full-ride scholarship in football, all right, and basketball. A lot of times, baseball and softball and the tracks are partial scholarships. So this is where if you're doing really well academically, they can take a partial scholarship, stack it on top of your softball scholarship, and get you close to the full ride. Okay? FCS, that's Indiana State, North Dakota State, Illinois State. Those schools, they give a lot of full rides, but they can also give partial scholarships as well. Okay? Division II, it's all partial scholarships, but there's a lot of times if you have really good grades academically with the partial scholarship, and if you get any financial aid, then it will be a full ride. And then the last one is Division III. I coach Division III. A lot of guys and girls say, I don't want to play Division III. Well, I'm going to tell you what right now, it's super competitive. They're really good academic institutions. They can't give scholarships, but they find a way to give you an institutional grant, with an academic grant, with any FAFSA money you get. There's a lot of people play Division III sports for free. And I tell everybody, and I got nieces and nephews that I'm helping recruiting, if you go to any one of these schools and get a college degree and go for free, it don't matter what it is. It does not matter. You get an opportunity to compete in college, travel all over the country, play a sport you love, and get a college degree for free. I don't know how that could be the best thing. Yes. What type of GPA do I want? Well, I will not. I coached offensive line for a long time. This is all different. Okay? Your GPA has got to go to 2.4, something like that. 4 classes.
Arthur, do you copy?
I coach at now, every school is a little different. You guys saw, I got 2 4. Gym class don't count. It's core classes. It's math, English, science.
Arthur, do you copy?
Taking gym every year and getting 4 A's, you know, they don't all go count. Okay? But I was an O-line coach. And I didn't want to coach guys that I had to chase in class and couldn't learn their offense. I would never scholarship.
Arthur, do you copy?
It's under 3-0. I never scholarship quarterback.
My bad, my volume was down. That's my fault. Are you in the auditorium by any chance?
I'm not doing that.
No, I'm on the cul-de-sac by the dumpsters loading up order. I can be there soon though.
Physically,
Yeah, just come in when you get a chance. I want you to hear something.
So if you're gonna get recruited, I don't care if it's
Okay,
football, basketball, soccer, ball, doesn't matter. The first thing that's gonna get you noticed.
No rush at all.
So we're gonna watch the film. And the math plays out like this, okay? So we looked at like 7,800 kids last year. That's where I'm at right now, okay? But if there's 100 kids, I'm gonna watch film on 100 of those kids. Okay, now they've already been weeded through by our recruiting staff and GAs. These are 100 guys that they say they think that we should watch. 50 of them I'm gonna say no to that way. Then in that 50, I'm gonna say, man, I don't know, those guys got a shot. All right, and the first thing I say to the recruiting coach, call his high school coach, find out what type of person he is, call the counselor, get the transfer. If there's 6 linemen on there, and I think they're all about the same, it's 3.3, 3.3, 3.4, 2.8, 2.0, 2.5. I'm just taking the 2 points out. I'm going to recruit those guys. Then after that happens, then I'm going to start to meet them. I'm going to go to the school. I'm going to talk with their family. I'm going to talk with the guidance counselor. I'm going to find out everything I can about the person. But the first thing is your ability. But your ability is to get you to the next step, which is where we do your character and your page. Do you know who knows everything about everybody in the school? What do you think there's one person that knows everybody, knows everything about the school? Your coach knows about the kids coaches. I'm talking, there's 2 people really. In the whole school, they know everything about everybody. Who said it, Jan? Said Jan. That's true. But here's the 2 people. When I don't get to go on the road right now, we have to go out in January. But when I'm going to talk to kids, I always get there early, so I gotta wait at the head coach. And I don't know if you guys have this, I came in the back door. You gotta go through security to get in the school here. Do you? Yes. The dude that's working that door knows everything. Because I'll say to that guy, he's like, here, see Johnny, yeah, how's he doing? He's good, man, he gets to school on time. Oh, really? Yeah, he's late once in a while. Okay? And the other person is the secretary in the dean's office. I always stop by and say hi to the dean and introduce myself. And I say, what are you talking about? You'd be amazed what they tell you. So if you think only what you do around this coach matters, you are dead wrong. Because they're going to find out what you do somehow or another. Okay? All right, so this is my June schedule right here. All right? I just put this up here because all of these camps, you football guys, we're going to all of these camps to go evaluate guys. I don't think you should go to more than 2 camps if you can do it. Because by the time you get to the end of it, 2 things are happening regardless of sport. You're not going to be as good because you're tired. And every day you don't practice with your team, you won't play with them. That trainer that's helping you do something in basketball, you better not practice with your team. Because that's who you're going to play with. That football guy that's got you in 7-on-7 going all over the place, you ain't getting better at the plays, you're going to run and fall. The soccer club that you're with is traveling all over. If you have free time, you don't miss any of your school's practices, I'm all for it. But if it's taken away, if there's anything that's going to take away from you practicing here, you're wasting your time, you're actually getting worse. Because you're not getting better at the schemes, regardless if it's the field or the court that your team is asking you. Okay? So, recruiting services, all right? So, who knows anything heard about recruiting services? Who knows about rivals, stars on rivals? Everybody see that? Okay? So, what is that? What is rivals? Let's tell me.
Go ahead.
What is it? Right now? You guys have heard like 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits. I'm talking about. Okay, so it's my 26th year of coaching. How many times have you guys ever looked at that? Not one time. Not one. Okay? Same with these guys. Okay? That is all. I'm going to tell you what happened. There's an old lineman I recruited at NC State to play in the NFL for 3 years. Nobody knew about him. I found him at a small school. We offered him the community lesson. Guess what he went to the next day? A 3-star recruit. Nothing changed from the day before to the day that he signed with us. They didn't know who he was, and all of a sudden they ranked him. Okay? You shouldn't worry about any of this stuff. Okay? All you should worry about is being the best player you can be here and going to 1 or 2 college camps and trying to get exposure. Anybody, don't raise your hand, but anybody in here, because I know there's guys in here, and I deal with them. Anybody that asks you for any money to help you get recruited is stealing your money. I'm going to say that one more time so you all hear it. Anybody that's asking you for money to help you get recruited is stealing your money. Because they don't give out the scholarships, I do. And coach knows a million people at college football, and all your other coaches know people all over the place. They are sending your film. I've never had a guy call me and say, you take this guy because he's one of my clients. And I did, ever. So do not be paying anybody, it's a scam. Do not waste you or your family's resources on that, okay? And the best way to get recruited is to have a great season. Any questions on any of that? The camps, the recruiting, the rivals, any of that stuff. Okay, all right, NIL, who knows what NIL is? What is it? He said it's where athletes now, student athletes can make money, they can get revenue from their name, image, or likeness. Okay? So there's a lot of terms thrown around. The 2 things that you just need to know, all right, NIL is name, image, and likeness. What that means is who's the guy on the loser. You guys see him on the TV commercials, like there's a phone, whatever phone company, what is it? Whatever. He does commercials. That's him doing that on his own. That's him getting a contract. That's his agent helping him do that. What percentage of college athletes all across the board get those deals? 1. Revenue share is new 2 years ago. That's where the institution can give an individual a scholarship, room and board, all of that stuff, and then additional money. Okay? If you are playing at a Power 4 school, almost every single person on that roster is getting additional money. If you go to Purdue, or you go to Illinois, or you go to Michigan, you might get an extra $20,000 a year. You might get an extra $300,000. Okay? If you're not in the Power 4, not everybody on the team is going to get rev share money, but some will. But it's not the money they're getting out of the Big Ten and the SEC. Does that make sense? Does anybody have questions about that? Exactly what I tell my team is exactly what I'll tell you guys. The best players get the most money. It's just like the NFL. You think the Colts pay the quarterback the same as they do the left guard? No. Right? So you got to understand, if you're ever in this position to get this, all right, you want to advocate for yourself, but you also have to understand the big picture. You shouldn't worry about what anybody else is getting. If it works for you, you get an education, then it's going to work for you. Does that make sense? So, any questions on that? All right. Who has Twitter here? That's not. That's how old I am. I just typed in Twitter. What is that? Instagram? Snapchat? Instagram, Snapchat, right? How many guys have those? How many of you would show those exactly everything on your feed to your grandmother, grandfather, pastor, or priest at your church? You would? Good. All right. Hey, what I'm saying is this. Follow me on this. whatever you put out there, whatever you like, whatever you retweet, whatever you do on these, whatever those are, I only have that because I actively agree. Right? Anything that shows up with your name, liked, forwarded, retweeted, whatever, you said it. You're laughing, but I'm gonna tell you a story. So I'm the O-line coach at NC State. The number one defensive back in the state is in my recruiting area. And I recruited that dude for 2.5 years. And he committed to us over every other ACC school. And it was the summer before his senior year that our recruiting office came in, my recruiting department came in and said, Coach, I got to show you this. And it was a printed out thing of Twitter of some music videos he had retweeted. He didn't want his videos, he had retweeted. But then below that was a picture of him with a bag of weed. And he said, what do you want me to do with this? I said, you know what, I want you to go give it to the head coach. So to that coach, I said, I know he's committed, I know he's a 5-star recruit, I know it's a big name, but this is what's out. And he said, wrong. So I called the kid and his parents, and I said, this is what happened. I'm not going to let you sign with us in January at that time. And I suggest you take all these things down because it's going to hurt you down the road. Right? Well, about 3 months later, he committed one of our rivals. All right? I went back and looked just out of curiosity on signing day. There was more stuff on his thing. All right? They dropped him before the signing. Ended up playing FCS football, then a junior college, and got to that level. He could have been close to home and played for us, but he put a thing on there, him with that week. Okay? So understand, guys, girls, everybody in here, whatever you put out there, you said it and you did it. And that's what you feel like. I'm talking about, we're a good friend of mine, my college roommate owns a very successful company. They pay a service that before they even interview people, they go through all of their stuff and eliminate people based on what's on their social media. Okay? I don't know why you guys are on there as much as you are, because it goes back to what I started this whole conversation with, is if you're really serious about being great in school and in whatever sport you play, this ain't getting you better. I can promise you right now. I can promise you. Okay? And I got 3 kids, 2 of them are in college and 1's in high school. So I know I got rules with them on what they can and can't do with that stuff. Right? I can just tell you right now that anytime you're spending on this or just sending somebody a message looking at it, is wasting your time and you're getting farther from where you want to go. And you don't have to believe me, just put something out there where they ever cost you an opportunity. I'm just telling you, every kid we recruit, we go through all of their stuff. Any questions on that? Yeah. With my children, with my players. So that's a great question. Do we have a rule with our players with social media? So some of the other older people here that remember Iowa had a rule that looks like the players have social media. I don't have a rule with my players that they can't be on it. Okay? But every one of our players, when they sign in and they do all their entry stuff, they have to give us all of their Twitter, Instagram, whatever all the stuff is. We have all of their names or whatever. And our athletic department follows every single one of them and runs them 4 months a week if they have something to do. And if something pops up on there, they tell me that we did, and I address it with them. And very rarely do they not fix it, but there has been a couple guys that refuse to fix it. And then I have to decide if I want them to still be on the team. But our department looks at every student athlete. That's not the football, that's our athletic department. And it don't go right to me, it goes to the AD and he calls me. Okay? Because if you go mess something up, all right, it's not going to say your name first. It's going to say football player at comma and your name. Everything you do represents the school, represents, in our case, our university. Any questions on that? If I get you guys to come out of this meeting today and just not do anything stupid on social media, then I feel like it was worth it. Because I'm sure every counselor, or teacher, or coach tells you that, and you don't listen to them. I'm telling you, they're trying to help. All right? Any questions on any of this? Any other questions on anything in general? Yes.
What's like
The average GPA, our football program has a 3.3 GPA right now. We have a bunch of really good students and we have two really good students. I would say to stay eligible in college, you gotta be over 2. Yep. I can't hear you. What makes an athlete great, you're saying? What do you say? The thing that I tell our players all the time, and when they don't do it, I tell them they do, like a lot of times they not, is they have to be deliberate about what they want in their life, and they have to have urgency to go get it. You all raised your hands, and I just know, I'm just being honest, man. You all raised your hands when I said he wants to play college sports. I guarantee you, if you come back a week from now, and I say over the last week you itemized what you did with every minute of every day over the last week, all of you said you want to do it, and probably 4 of you really want to do it. Because I tell our players, I don't want you to give me talk. I don't care what you say. It's what you do. What you do speaks way louder than everything you tell me. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Just go do it. Okay? So if they're deliberate about, I want to be the best player I could possibly be, that means they're not on social media all the time. That means they're not doing things stupid away from the facility. That means they're taking care of their schoolwork and working on football in my case. And they got to be urgent about it. They can't be, I'm going to do it later. I'll do it next year. I'll start training a week before training camp. It has to be important to you that right now. Okay? And if you go into my office right now, there's one saying on my office. I got the pictures and all this. There's one saying and a friend. And it says, if it's important to you, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. And I know everybody in here, I'd be guilty of it, man. My wife tells me to clean the garage, and I don't want to do it, and I find a way to have an excuse. All right? But everybody here has made an excuse before for why they didn't do something. But if it was important enough to you, you'd got it done. Who knows what per diem is? We know what per diem is. What's per diem?
Money that you get for
Yes.
for food. I wanted to ask.
Okay.
I want to ask one more question
I
about
thought you were
social
raising your hand to
media.
answer per diem. Go ahead.
About the social media, you
Yeah.
guys monitor TikTok as well.
Yeah. Everything that you are on is monitored. I should add that up there. Everything that you have an account on is monitored by our department. Yes. Thank you. So he said per diem. So you guys, per diem is like when I go recruit, the university gives me money to eat with and sleep, right? Well, when we go to a bowl game, all right, which I've been fortunate to coach the Orange Bowl and a bunch of other bowl games, the players get per diem. Okay, so they get money to spend when they're at the bowl game. Okay, when we're home training over Thanksgiving break because they're in a bowl game, they get per diem. They get money, cash in their hand to spend while they're on campus. Guys, I've had players late to the team bus before a MAC title game. I've had a player late for the Orange Bowl. I've had a player late for the first day of training camp. In 25 years, I've never had a player late for per diem. I'm not lying. I would tell you that if it wasn't true. You think that they were urgent and motivated to go get cash? Why wouldn't you have that in your football life? Why wouldn't you have that in your academic life? Why? Because when you show up, that money is instant.
We got 2 minutes of the bell rings.
To see it in football, you might have to do it for 6 months before you get it done. To see it in women's basketball, you might have to shoot free throws for 5 months just to go up 5 percentage points on the free throw percentage. That might win you a game. Are you committed to do it that long? That's the question. That's the question. All right? Any questions you guys have for me on anything else? Yes. So we have, that's a good question, that's about physical and mental challenges in college football and college athletics as a whole, right? So we're fortunate we have a full-time, what's called our director of sports performance, all right? And then within that is our competitive excellence group. And we have a full-time counselor in performance,